there for quite a number of years. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there was alcohol and nudity before an ordinance changed back in the 90s. And again, I did not see this city fall to pieces. In terms of the school children and the area, I think no one's going to deny that we care about the quality of education and the quality of the environment for our children. Again, that most of the problems are not existing around Club Madonna. There's been an enormous amount of drug sales that have taken place on 15th Street and Drexel and in that area. So, to lay all these ills on Club Madonna, I think is unfair and unwarranted. The issue for us here is very simple. Do we want to merge alcohol, which is rampant in all our clubs? And I dare to say that most of our current clubs have a lot more going on that is illegal in them, those legalized clubs, than in Club Madonna. So we already have the nudity. The alcohol sales is not going to bring down Miami Beach as we understand it, nor destroy our moral fiber. It is a choice we're willing to give. And I think the issues that are germane and that have been raised and that should be discussed are the issues of proliferation and monopoly, which have been brought up. Well, that's within our purview up here, if we want to grant monopolies or to allow them to proliferate. And that is within our hands, and for the Commission to decide on a case-by-case basis. In this case, I personally am in favor of granting that ordinance. I do not think it is going to destroy the moral fiber or bring down the economy of Miami Beach. I will be voting against the current motion, and if it fails, I will propose an alternative motion.
Okay, Commissioner Garcia.
Boy, I hate following this guy. He's very eloquent. With that said, I grew up in Miami Beach. For anybody that grew up in Miami Beach back in the 50s, 60s, basically the only entertainment that was in town, away from the big hotels and the lounges in the small hotels, was 21st, 22nd, 23rd Street. And basically what we had there was burlesque. That was nudity. That was alcohol. I don't think I grew up too bad. I don't think I was affected. And the high school was right next to it. We would walk, just to have lunch over at Ollie's. We would go by the place. So I don't see the great deal. As I was listening to some of the speakers right here, some of the complaints that were made as far as the violence and the prostitution and all this, I thought they were talking about regular television. If you turn your television on right now and you see more violence, more nudity, more acts of violence than you will ever see by going to this type of club. I myself, I had never set foot in that club. I had driven up and down hundreds of times. Up till Mr. Griffith applied for the license, I just assumed that he had a legal license, because those were the ways there used to be. Again, I think this is a matter of choice. I don't think that denying the legal license will, that granting the legal license is going to change the complete structure of the city. Just like Commissioner Cruz, I have a great deal of respect for Jane Gross. I knew her before I knew him. When I was a fire chief, she would email me with complaints. So, and Donna Simo, the same thing. I got a great deal of respect. In this particular case, I think we just choose to have a difference of opinion. And again, Beach High was closer to the Place Pigalle, or just as close to Place Pigalle as Madonna is to this club. And again, they were, I wouldn't like to see proliferation. Just like we wouldn't like to see proliferation of some of the establishments that we have there, that they don't control the drinking as much. I think that the question is controlling the drinking drinking hours. Right now, what is happening in some other area that might contribute to the ambience of the street is that people might be going to Madonna, and they might be walking down the street to the grocery store, buying a six-pack of beer, wolfing it down, running back into Madonna, or going back to a lounge around the corner, gulping 3-4 drinks and running back. I really don't see a problem, and I will vote against the proposal.
Okay. Anyone else wish to be heard? Anyone else wish to be heard?
I just want to make a closing statement. The planning board voted 6-0 against this. MDPL came out against it. The Status of Women Committee is against it. Fisher-Feinberg is against it. Who's in favor of it? I mean, what is the reason to pass this? I don't see it. I really don't see it. I'll call the question.
There is a motion. There is a second. Hearing no further discussion.
The motion is to reject the ordinance?
Yes.
And that's your motion, sir? Okay.
All right, let's call the question. Call the roll, please. No, we're not doing a vote.
So,
We've been down that road. Sometimes going last isn't the best thing.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yeah, we're calling the roll.
This is to deny.
To deny.
Yes. Commissioner Garcia.
no.
Commissioner Grove.
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz.
No.
Commissioner Steinberg. Vice Mayor Smith.
Yes.
And then there's the mayor.
Mayor Durham.
Listen, I'll see you. Mr. Manager, what do you think? What's your recommendation, Mr. Manager?
My recommendation is that you vote to deny the application. As we've heard here, while it may be difficult to quantify the negative aspects that might be generated by this ordinance, I can assure you that there are very few positive benefits to the city resulting from this ordinance, and so I recommend that you deny it, or accept the motion as been proposed.
You've weighed it out, and that's your recommendation, and that's the planning department's recommendation as well.
Correct.
Rather than just voting and leaving, let me just say a few words because I think it's important to, to basically get what I believe is the proper position out on this issue. And I know this has been a very contentious issue lasting a long time. I do agree with much that has been said here today as far as societal problems and blaming Mr. Griffith for all the problems in our city. I don't think that is fair, and I don't think that's warranted. I do think that he has run a legal business. There was nothing illegal about the business that he's been running. When we talk about alcohol as being an evil, it is an evil in general, but you could go up and down Washington Avenue and see all kinds of clubs and alcohol all over the place. We may, as a commission, want to start thinking about, hey, maybe we should, rethink how many, the proliferation of liquor licenses in the city in general, as far as that, if that's the mindset of this particular commission and the residents that are living in the area. I do take to heart what has been said about a community that has mustered itself. In this instance, you have NDPL, which has been mentioned here. Status of Women has been mentioned. As far as the issue of choice, I don't know if that really plays into account that much. I mean, choice versus, is it going to, as the manager said, give us a better society to have this choice? I don't know. You go to the store, you could see 45 different mustards on the shelf, and you got choice. Does that mean